there is zero good reason for them to vote to shut the government down right now. They are doing it for political reasons.
All we're asking is for the Trump administration and Republicans could come to the table and negotiate. Instead, he's acting like a mobster.
This is a failure of leadership. Republicans lead the House, Republicans lead the Senate, Republicans lead the White House.
The far left and the base really went crazy on poor Chuck Schumer, and so he changed his tune.
Live look at Washington, D.C. this afternoon as lawmakers point fingers over the government shutdown. The shutdown now rolling into a second day, 37 hours and counting, according to the White House clock. Well, I'm John Roberts in Washington, and welcome to Friday Eve, as we like to call it around here.
Yep,
looking lovely in white today, Sandra.
Thank you very much, John. Good to be with you and kick off a new hour here. I'm Sandra Smith in New York, and this is America Reports. The Republicans say Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is more concerned with giving health care to illegal immigrants than keeping the government open. And a potential 2028 primary from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is looming above his head. But first, a quick flashback. Democrats giving illegal immigrants health care isn't a new policy position.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
That about says it. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum also slamming the Democratic Party for its, quote, intent to close our parks, stop U.S. energy production, and hinder our first responders.
The secretary will be joining us live here on America Reports in moments. But let's kick things off with Peter Doocy. He is live at the White House for us. Hello, Peter.
Sandra, good afternoon. Here at the White House, they call it the Schumer shutdown, but officials are candid about who they think is really pulling the strings.
But the reality here, and let's be honest about the politics, is that Chuck Schumer is terrified she's going to get a primary challenge from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The reason why the American people's government is shut down is because Chuck Schumer is listening to the far left radicals in his own party because he's terrified of a primary challenge.
And the vice president is right about her clout because after AOC said this,
I saw some Republican members of Congress saying, oh, well, if we have this shutdown, it's because of AOC. Well, if that's the case, my office is open and you are free to walk in and negotiate with me directly.
Then Nancy Pelosi, widely accepted as the most influential congressional Democrat of an entire generation, couldn't believe her ears.
There was a thought from the Republicans that AOC is directing this, and she said that senators are welcome to go to her office directly. Is she driving that?
Why are you saying such a ridiculous thing?
I'm just quoting what AOC said. She said go to her office directly. Do you think there's any credibility to that?
She's not directing this. She's wonderful. She's a real team player and the rest of that. You started by saying Republicans saying that she's directing this. She is not. Hakeem Jeffries is.
President Trump and Russ Vought, the budget chief, are planning to meet at some point today to talk about Project 2025 style budget cuts, something that are easier to make during a shutdown. Sandra?
Okay, Peter Doocy setting it up for us. Thank you very much, Peter. John?
Lots to chew over here with the Interior Secretary Doug Burgum, who joins us now. You heard what the Vice President said there, Mr. Secretary, about this being driven by political pressure from the left and a potential primary challenge to Chuck Schumer in 2028. Jared Golden, Democrat from Maine, would seem to agree with the vice president. He said the following, quote, this government shutdown is the result of hardball politics driven by demands far left groups are making for Democratic Party leaders to put on a show of their opposition to President Trump. There's room and time to negotiate, but normal policy disagreements are no reason to subject our constituents to the continued harm of this shutdown. To you, is this about policy or is it about politics?
This is 100% politics, John and Sandra. The vice president said it clearly. The representative from Maine also nailed it when he was talking about this, because as Americans need to know, the House has already passed a continuing resolution. There are no changes to the federal budget on the line. If people want to negotiate, they could do that while the government's running as opposed to when it's shut down. And Americans need to know this Democrat shutdown, this Schumer shutdown, for an agency like Interior, where we've got tens of thousands of people across the country. We're now doing everything we can to try to keep our parks open. We can't use any appropriated funds during a time like this, so we've got to be very creative about legally finding ways to pay people and do that. Our first responders, firefighters, law enforcement, all the things that we're doing to keep the essential services going. This just distracts us from advancing and moving things forward for the American people. You would never run a business this way. This is 100% politics.
Spoken like a true businessman. Mr. Secretary, good to have you on the program. Here's Secretary Bessent. He went on CNBC earlier today. He is making the case that this is all about Schumer's poll numbers. Listen.
Chuck Schumer did the right thing in the spring and led the Senate to a clean CR. What's changed since then is it's his poll numbers. The president, Vice President Vance, Speaker Johnson, Leader Thune, they're not negotiating with Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. They're negotiating with Representative Ocasio-Cortez because she's nipping at his heels. And, so the American people are being held hostage by Chuck Schumer's poll numbers.
Well, as you are also making a similar case, will the American people just see right through this?
I hope that they do see right through this, and I hope they see through it quickly so that we can get back to work advancing the agenda that the American people voted for under President Trump, making so much progress on so many fronts. Because this can affect energy production. I mean, we're working to keeping permitting open on federal lands. When we're permitting timber, oil and gas, grazing lands, that's revenue that comes into the government. It's not all expense. There's also revenue. And when AOC is, trying to shut down the whole government, this is every American ends up paying for it in the end because this is hurting revenue, because they'll come in and they'll say, no, we're going to reimburse everybody for their expenses, even though they're not working. But we have the potential for lost revenue here.
Mr. Secretary, Republicans are saying that the Democrats shut down the government because they are making demands to give health care to illegal immigrants. Chuck Schumer says, oh, that's just not true. Listen to what he said.
When they say that undocumented immigrants are going to get this money, it's a lie, plain and simple.
All right, so let's put up on the screen here. This is page 57 of the Democrats' continuing resolution that they're proposing. This is section 2141. It's in ledge speak, so you probably can't even begin to understand it. But basically what it calls for is a repeal of restrictions in the big, beautiful bill that limited federal health care dollars for people who are lawfully present in the United States but don't have legal status. So if this was revoked, as the Democrats wanted to, it would give parolees, like hundreds of thousands of people admitted under the CHNV program or the CBP-1 app, access to health care. It would also restore full Medicaid funding for illegal migrants, illegal aliens who visit the emergency room. So do they want to give health care to illegal aliens or not?
Well, they absolutely do. And as I said, this is not about smart policy. It's not about the Republicans that care about all Americans, hardworking Americans. This is about the extreme policies that the left is trying to jam down. They're upset about what the extreme policies they didn't get into the one big beautiful bill. Now they're trying to use this leverage, and they're holding all the American people hostage for something that the Congress didn't vote for. Congress didn't pass that stuff for a reason back in July, and trying to use this now at this point. I mean, if they want these policies, then introduce a bill in Congress and see if it passes. But don't hold America hostage right now against doing the work that we have to do for the American people every single day. That's what we do. We serve the American people.
All right. So, Mr. Secretary, I wonder if you can quantify, as I circle back to something you just said a moment ago, because Secretary Bessent this morning suggested that as this goes on and the longer this goes on, he predicted that we could take a hit to our GDP. You just said a moment ago, suggested the longer this goes on, we could see lost revenue. Can you quantify that for us? I mean, we're about to have Austin Goolsbee on from the Chicago Federal Reserve, Mohammed El-Arian's coming on. The predictions are all over the place, but what say you? How big of a hit could we take to the American economy as this goes on?
Well, it is, Secretary Bessent is right. I mean, this creates a drag on government, and we'd like to, our team, the Trump administration, we'd like to get government as small as we can and let the private sector take over. But unwinding all of the overregulation that occurred during the Biden administration takes time. When we're not at work doing the work we're doing right now, it slows down the effort under President Trump. We're cutting a record amount of red tape. When the government shuts down, that slows it down. We're building more efficient government. We're taking costs out of government and putting that resources back in the private sector. And like I said earlier, when you take a look at it, 20% of the land in America is public lands managed by the federal government. Most of that land in Interior, Interior standalone has got the largest balance sheet in the world. We've got 700 million acres of subsurface, 500 million acres of surface, 2.5 billion of offshore. When our team members are not able to go to work to help manage that land, we're losing revenue, whether it's a timber lease, a grazing lease, a coal lease, oil and gas permitting. We're trying to keep all those doors open as best we can. But when they shut down the federal government, you're shutting down the business of America.
But President Trump appears to also see some opportunity here, Mr. Secretary. This is what he sent out today on Truth Social. I have a meeting today with Russ Vought, he of Project 2025 fame, the OMB director, to determine which of many Democrat agencies, most of which are a political scam, he recommends to be cut, and whether or not those cuts will be temporary or permanent. I can't believe the radical left Democrats gave me this unprecedented opportunity. They're not stupid people, so maybe this is their way of wanting to quietly and quickly make America great again, President Donald J. Trump. Is this going to be the pressure that causes Democrats to cave?
Well, it's the pressure, but it's also the truth. I mean, President Trump named his social media for a reason, calling them truths, because what he said is completely true. It is easier to make cuts during a time when the government is shut down. And any one of us that have been in these positions that have worked in the private sector can see the amount of inefficiency in government. There's so much that we can take out of government in terms of cost and still deliver great services. It's possible to have a smaller government and better services. We can do that. I mean, you take a look at the IT side of things. I mean, the technology that's running the federal government today is so ancient, so old, generations behind, and so it's costly. Every single team member that works for the federal government might spend 20% of their time on working on stuff that that could be in the private sector, would already be automated. So President Trump and Russ Vought, I'm 100% behind their efforts. There's so many ways we can make it more efficient. If the Democrats are going to give us this chance, let's make sure we take advantage of that.
Hey, Mr. Secretary, I appreciate you joining us today. Thank you so much for coming on.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.